Alright, this is a quick review to be able to identify different types of transformation that could have happened on one coordinate plane. So it could be a possible of two transformations. We are going to be asking ourselves, did it flip, did it turn, did it slide? But when we write our explanation in CER, claim evidence reasoning, we're going to change the word of flip with reflection, turn with rotation, and slide with translation. But it's easier because these are words that we're used to seeing. Did it flip? Did it turn? Did it slide? So we're going to go ahead and review a couple. Again, we are going to be using claim, evidence, and reasoning. What is your claim? What is your evidence that you see that is going to support your claim? And then tie your claim to your evidence. So example, I look right here. I'm going to ask myself, did it flip? Did it turn? Did it slide? Okay? And I'm going to change my words with it. Here I can see that it flipped. So that means that it reflected. Then I'm going to say it reflected over the y-axis because this is y and this is x. So I'm going to say that it reflected over the y-axis. Well, what is my evidence? That's my claim. You can write more detail. I'm just going to do this short for you to see. My evidence is, well, look here. I have point C. They are the same distance from the y-axis. And point B and C flipped. It reflected like a mirror image. So now it is CB. So BC turned to CB. But for my evidence, I'm going to say each point is the same distance from the y-axis. You just remember when you're talking about it, go back to what you're talking about. This is reflected, it flipped. Your reasoning could be that because each point is the same different distance from the y-axis, it then proves my claim that it reflected over the y-axis. You can even talk about how it reflected from BC to CB. So what happens when you have double transformations on one coordinate plane? Well, you're going to do one at a time. Look for your pre-image, then travel down to your new image. Remember, did it flip? Did it turn? Did it slide? Did it reflect? Did it rotate? Did it translate? So I see this one here is my original image. This is my first transformation. This is my second. How do I know? I see prime 1, prime 2. Well, if I look here, I can see that it reflipped. Okay, back to my notes. It flipped. It flipped, which means it reflected over the x-axis. My evidence is it's the same places from the x-axis. The second transformation I have here, I can see that the shape didn't flip. It didn't turn. So it slid. Now I just need to count from one point to the next corresponding points and see how much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can say that it slid 6 places. So one more time, the first transformation was that it flipped, so it reflected over the x-axis, and it then translated, which means it slid 6 units to the right. My evidence is from one point to another. It is the same distance on the x-axis, and then you can count how much it translated. For the last one here, you're going to figure out what the shape did here to get to here. So this is your prime 1, and this is your prime 2, but you're still going to write what happened to both. For example, I can see here that you would have had to slide, which is translate, and then flip so that the D will still match and the C will still match. So that means I translate, then I reflect. Please write your explanation in CER. What is your evidence to support your claim, and tie your evidence to your claim for your reasoning. Go back to your notebook if you need to on CER and answer the following in that format.